All right, everybody, time for the second episode of Review of the Day, which is The Scientist. When a masked thief with superhuman strength steals a centrifuge from Queen Consolidated's Applied Sciences Division, Oliver and his team investigate, with help of Central City CSI Barry Allen, who was a fan of the vigilante and has many observations and theories about him. He reveals all this to Felicity, telling her he's interested because his mother was murdered, and a person like Theo may have been able to stop it. Oliver suspects that Barry's hiding something and has him investigated by Diggle. When confronted with the fact that there was no similar case in Central City and he's only an assistant CSI, Barry reveals that he is searching for superpowered beings in the hope that he'll prove one case true and subsequently find answers to clear his father for his mother's murder. He explains that the night his mother died, when a blur-like figure entered his home and his father went to fight it, Barry went to help but somehow found himself 20 blocks away. Despite the strangeness of his testimony and the fact that he was so far away, it led the police to believe he was covering for his father, who was arrested and convicted of his mother's murder. After a blood bank is robbed and Oliver fails to stop the thief, he recognizes the combination of blood and serum and realizes that the thief was enhanced using the same serum that Dr. Ivo was searching for on the island. He reveals this information to Diggle, who previously suspected he knew more than he was telling, and Felicity adding that he destroyed the entire supply of the serum and all survivors were subsequently killed. He relates to Diggle and Felicity that the serum needs a strong sedative as well, which leads Felicity, aided by Barry, to find the next place the robber will hit. Felicity warns Oliver that he might not be able to fight the thief due to his strength and muscle density. Roy and Thea stumble upon Oliver's case after helping Sin to find her missing friend. He was a test subject of Alderman bloods that didn't survive after being lured in by a blood drive. He contacts Oliver to ask him to investigate, but Oliver brushes him off, telling Roy to stay away, as he's already on the case, albeit from a different angle. Frustrated, Roy says he and his friends will investigate themselves, so Oliver shoots Roy in the leg to prevent him and possibly Thea from getting further involved. Oliver tracks the thief to an Argus bunker, where the robber reveals he is only a follower of his brother who saved him with the serum. Oliver fights him, losing, and is badly injured. He loses consciousness, having been injected with unknown substance. Felicity and Diggle arrive and find Oliver weak. Unable to identify what entered his body, Diggle tries to call 911, but Felicity stops him to protect the arrow's identity. She says she knows someone who can help. At the train station, Barry's missed his train to Central City and will have to wait until the morning. Realizing he's going to be in trouble, but conceding that it's out of his control, he sits on a bench to wait. From the shadows, a dart is shot into Barry's neck and he falls over unconscious. Groggily, he wakes up in the arrow's hideout, confused about what he's seeing and where he's at. Upon seeing Oliver unconscious on a table in front of him, Barry is startled and then is approached by Felicity, who begs him to save her friend's life. Meanwhile, Moy returns to the public eye and is now welcomed in by society or by a road chef at Queen Consolidated. Not only that, but Malcolm is going to put pressure on Moira to tell Thea that he is her father. Moira tells Malcolm she refuses to be afraid of him anymore. Instead, she's contacted Ra's al Ghul, who wants to kill Malcolm for breaking the League of Assassins' code of honor by destroying the Glades. Moira tells Malcolm to run, and as a result, Malcolm leaves and warns her that the issue regarding Thea is not over. In a flashback to the island, Oliver, Sarah, Slade, and Shadow travel the island using the amulet to find the sub in a fissure on the island and find the serum. They have the serum but no sedative, but since Slade will die without it, they inject him anyway. Just before they do, Slade apologizes to Shadow for not revealing he had feelings for her. When they inject Slade with it, his heart stops, just Dr. Ivo arrives at the sub with his men. Uh-oh. So now let's take a look at some trivia surrounding this episode. Intended to be a backdoor pilot for The Flash, this episode introduces the character Barry Allen, who in the comics and later in the spin-off series is the civilian identity of the Flash. Barry tells Felicity that he's interested in the Arrow because when his mother is murdered, the police never caught the culprit, and he believes a person like the Arrow might have. This statement actually turns out to be true as Oliver eventually helps Barry catch Reverse Flash by using nanites during a battle in the Flash Season 1 episode Rogue Air. When Oliver tells Diggle and Felicity he's encountered Miraku-enhanced visuals before, he describes the Mirakuru as a serum designed to create human weapons. John then says, human weapons? My god, what's next? Aliens? Approximately 3 years later, Team Arrow, alongside Supergirl, Team Flash, and the Legends, ends up dealing with aliens during invasion. Furthermore, when Barry went to ask Team Arrow to help him battle the aliens of the crossover, John replied, "I swear to God, Barry, my life was someone normal before I met you." I pass on to the fact that Team Arrow first encountered strange things like Mirakuru soldiers around the same time that they first met Barry. When Barry's observing chemicals in the lab of Felicity, there is a notable thunder crack and lightning that catches his attention. This is a direct nod to how Barry received his powers as the Flash in the comics, being struck by lightning in a chemistry lab, which you see in the next episode, 3 Ghosts. The episode starts off with a shot of the sky and a flash of lightning. This episode is notable as being the first episode of Arrow tinted to superhuman abilities. Previously, the show was considered to be extremely grounded. In one shot, the name Cord was seen on lab equipment in the Applied Sciences building. This is like a reference to Cord Industries and Ted Cord. In the extended promo of this episode, there is a scene of Barry arriving at Queen Consolidated, which is not featured in the episode. And now finally, let's take a look at a goof. When Barry tells Oliver and Felicity about the night his mother was murdered, he refers to the reverse Flash as a tornado and that his dad, Henry Allen, went to fight him. However, this episode was made prior to the Flash Season 1, which featured flashbacks during which the reverse Flash is referred to as a man in a sight ball of lightning, or the man in yellow, and Henry didn't fight but rather told his son to run. So overall, I think this episode is pretty good, and I like the fact that they introduced Barry Allen here before the beginning of the Flash series, so yeah. So overall, I give The Scientist 5 arrowheads out of 5. Well, anyway, tune in a bit as we take a look at the final episode of the day, 3 Ghosts. So, until then, in the words of Oliver Queen, you have failed this city.